Hi guys, it's SimLicy here, so welcome to another speed build. So today I am building another family home, and this time it's just a small, simple family house that's single story, but I tried to make it look a little bit more interesting with some terrain manipulation, and I think the landscaping is really pretty, and I also just love the colors of this house. I had a lot of fun with it, so hopefully you guys will like it too, but definitely let me know what you guys think. So this house ends up having 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. I really tried to squeeze in 3 bedrooms. I wanted to. The reason I didn't make this house any bigger is because I wanted to build like with the whole tiny living aspect of the game. So it's a tier 3 tiny house. It's exactly 100 tiles and it's not that big of a house. It looks so much smaller than 100 tiles. And yeah, I probably could have made 3 bedrooms if I didn't have those restrictions, but yeah, I wanted to stick with that. That way you guys get the perks of living in a tiny house if you want to, but of course you could just change it to a regular residential house and add on to it and make it as big as you possibly want. But I think it's just a nice little home. I'm not sure how expensive it is. I wanted it to feel more like just a regular home, like it's not very fancy, it's not super put together. I mean, it's not really like messy or dirty or anything either. It's pretty tidy. It's not overly cluttered, but I didn't want it to look like a really expensive home, but it probably is because that's just the nature of things, and I didn't really pay attention to using the cheapest items or anything. So yeah, apologies if it's more expensive than you want it to be, but either way, there you can see I did add a swimming pool, and I really liked the way that looks. I was trying to give it more of a rounded appearance. I wanted it to have kind of a rounded shape to it, but I wasn't drawing anything with the pool tool that I was really liking, so I decided just to go for a simpler shape, and I think this still looks really nice because it still has that kind of rounded feel with the shape of the pool. So hopefully that makes sense. And then I also like the colors of the exterior. I went with this light kind of green exterior color that I think came from Spa Day. It's kind of like a wood paneling, and then I mixed it with, I think, just some regular plain white siding, and I think they look so good together, especially with the red window boxes. I thought about changing the red window boxes to like a green or a white. I think I changed them for a moment later, but then I decided to leave them because they are just so contrasting to everything, and they just kind of pop and they look really cool in my opinion. So hopefully you guys like those too. And other than that, you can see that the backyard is elevated, and I have the pool back there like I mentioned. I do get a barbecue area, a couple of lounge chairs. I don't think I included an outdoor dining table. Come to think of it, I probably should have, but that's an easy thing to add if you guys would like to include one. But there is a little play area that I think is really sweet with the toddler swimming pool. There's also some monkey bars. I get a couple of flower boxes so you can do some gardening. Just a bunch of like activities to make the yard more interesting, because there was quite a bit of yard space, which is really nice. Actually, one of the really nice things about building tiny houses, in my opinion, is you end up actually having to do more with the terrain and more with the landscaping to make the house more interesting, I guess. I mean, there's lots of tiny houses that people do that look really interesting, and I'm like, how did they come up with that? I am not that creative when it comes to building tiny houses, but for me, I love having the extra space on the lot to be able to get a bit more creative with the landscaping. So that's what I enjoy. Either way, here you can see I am placing the flowers and the bushes and trees, and I really enjoyed the landscaping a lot. I think the colors just look really pretty with the purple flowers and the blue hydrangeas and the yellow flowers and the different trees. I think they just actually shaped the house really nicely where I placed the trees especially. I think it's pretty cool. I kind of struggled with the edge of the lot where the terrain just kind of drops down. I thought about adding like a bunch of bushes to kind of cover it up, but I decided it didn't look too bad, so I just placed a couple of trees, and then I think I placed a couple of those low-lying yellow plants or yellow flowers, whatever they're called, the plant that everybody uses that's very low to the ground. I placed a few of those just to make it look more blended in. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with the landscaping. I tried to place some of those live edit objects, what do you call those, stepping stones. I've been using them a lot recently. I'm really in love with them. I think they look so good, and I love that there's like 3 or 4 different varieties of them, so you can kind of mix them up and make it look more realistic and not so repetitive. But unfortunately, because I was using the terrain editing and there was a slope, they were like hovering, and it just really did not look right. So I just went with some regular terrain paint, which I still think looks really nice, so I'm not too mad about it. But here I'm just placing some decorations. I placed that really cute like picnic basket kind of thing. I don't think it's not necessarily a picnic basket, but it's that little container that has the condiments and like the napkins and plates and stuff in it. I put it next to the barbecue and it's just so cute. I really love that object. It came with backyard stuff. If you guys don't have that stuff pack, it's a really good one. It's the pack that comes with that like ridiculously like oversized slip and slide. I like the idea of that object, but it's just way too big. And there's a number of things like that in the game, like the telescope and the microscope and the cupcake machine. Like, why can't you bake cupcakes in the oven? Why is there this like ridiculous machine that takes up like half a kitchen? I will never understand. So hopefully we get things that are a bit more practical in the future. Like, I would love a telescope that we could put on a balcony and your Sims could go out there and look at the stars. Like, how sweet would that be? I don't know, it'd be so cool. But I feel like I should probably just stop talking about that, because I feel like in every video now I just mention the things that I want like more than anything else in the entire video, and it's too much. But anyways, here you can see I am moving on to the interior, and I'm starting with the kitchen. I really wanted to get the kitchen sorted because I knew it was going to be kind of small, and I wanted to make sure I wanted to put the kitchen here before I moved on to the rest of the house. And I decided to use these base game counters in this blue color. It might be a bit overpowering, maybe it's too much blue, but I thought it was really fun and it made the house feel a bit unique and kind of just really sweet and adorable. I just had a lot of fun with the interior color scheme. I thought about bringing some of the red from the exterior, like with the flower boxes, onto the interior, but I just really wasn't feeling, I guess, that kind of color for the interior. I really just liked leaving it to the flower boxes. So the interior is just very light and calming, lots of blues, lots of like peachy tones, and I really enjoy it. I also really like placing the stove in between archways like this. I've done it in a few different kitchens now, and I think it actually looks kind of nice, and it makes a good use of the space, because I really don't like putting stoves like right up against a window. I don't really mind so much if the window is kind of small and it's above the stove, but when they're like touching, I just can't do it. I think I've done it maybe once or so if I have like no other option, but if I have an option, I always try to avoid it. But over here is going to be the dining room, and I have 4 seats here because you can fit 4 Sims in this house. There's room for 2 parents and 2 kids. I think I meant to mention that at the beginning and I got talking about something else, but yeah, I did imagine that 4 Sims lived in this apartment. My goodness, 4 Sims lived in this house. And so there's room for 2 parents and then a child Sim and a toddler Sim. So you'll notice that in the bathroom there's a toddler potty. I did not include a high chair because recently in a video I was asking you guys about high chairs, and a lot of you say it's just easier to have your toddler eat on the floor or sit on a couch or something and eat. So I decided not to include one, but I think it would be totally easy to place one somewhere if you really prefer using it. Like, I think one would probably fit by the trash can in the kitchen, or you could just remove one of the chairs and snap it to the dining table, and maybe on the end of the dining table. I'm sure one side of it your Sims could still walk around, but it might be a bit cramped, so that may not be the best option. But either way, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. And then here you can see is the living room. I decided not to include a coffee table. Instead, I used that poof and then just pushed it underneath of that wall-mounted TV stereo bookcase combination. And I thought that was kind of nice because you could pretend that the Sims pull it out when they want to set stuff on it. And then when I was going to take the screenshots, I felt like I needed to add a bit extra clutter there, so I do raise that TV up just slightly on the wall, and then I place that tray that came with Tiny Living that has like the books and the candles and that little plant in there. I just place it on top of it just to add a bit more clutter without making it look too messy. So I thought that looked really nice. And then over here is going to be the bathroom. It's the only one in the entire build, but there's a shower tub combination with a sink and a toilet and toddler potty, everything that your Sims should need. And then you will see in the hallway there's also a washer and dryer, so your Sims can do some laundry. There's a laundry hamper right next to it. And I thought this was a really good spot and really easy for you guys if you decided you didn't want to do laundry in your build, because you could just easily put like a bookcase or a nice side table with some collectibles or other decorations and things on it. But over here is going to be the kids' room. So the toddler and the child do share a room, because I mean, this is a pretty small house. And yeah, I think it actually works out really nicely. I was trying to think of their personalities. The toddler, I think it's just a toddler. They're trying to figure out their personality as they grow up, so they don't really have anything that they're necessarily into. I was kind of thinking maybe cars, so I end up using like this shelf that we have that I think came with toddler stuff, maybe parenthood, maybe it's base game. No, it's not base game, definitely. I think it came with toddler stuff, but either way, you'll see me place it above the toddler bed, and I put the one that has the car on it. It's so cute, and the other one has building blocks. And then also you notice in this room there's a bunch of like dog stuff and kind of like veterinarian related things. So I was thinking the child in this room really wants to become a vet when they get older, and they just love dogs and probably cats too, but dogs are like their favorite. So they have like a giant dog stuffed animal, they have dog posters, and that vet poster, like their whole life is just about dogs. Like they love them so much, and I thought that was really sweet. And then over here I do place that bookcase that I think came from my first pet stuff. Or is it cats and dogs? I think it's my first pet stuff, but either way, I thought that looked really nice in here. I liked the colors for this room, but these are the shelves that I was talking about. Again, I'm not sure what pack they came from, but they're super cute. I love using them in like kids' rooms and toddler rooms. And so maybe the toddler's into cars, but honestly, I think they're just a toddler and they like everything and they just are enjoying being a little toddler. But over here is going to be the master bedroom. So it's the parents' room. And like I said, there's room for 2 parents in here if you would like, or you could have a single parent. Totally up to you guys, but I definitely wanted there to be space for 2. And I really like what I did over here where the dresser is. I ended up putting 2 of these really skinny dressers next to each other. I need to play test this to see if it works. I don't think it should cause any problems. I imagine it still works fine. I mean, if it does, honestly, your Sims could just change it the mirror. I think it looks really good, so I'm not too bothered if it doesn't work, because I really liked it. I thought it looked so nice tucked away in that corner. But anyways, there I just added a couple of plants, and then I put this artwork above the bed, and then just some lights on the exterior, and then we're on to the screenshot. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this little small house for a family of 4, and I hope you guys do enjoy the screenshot. So thank you so much for watching, and please leave any comments or suggestions that you have, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!
I never felt tomorrow closing in this fast. Oh, I guess time's in a rush. Leaves are falling down, but at least they grow back, while I'm on a one-way track. Now I know what it means to grow. It is just enough to get by. Yeah, it is just enough to get by. Sometimes I understand I'm making all the wrong demands in life. It never pays in the end, but still I am here, moving on like before. I'm yearning to reach the shore. Now I know what it means to grow. It is just enough to get